Bam! Yeah, we are live. Welcome. Welcome. Now it really feels like a comedy show because I can't see anybody. Okay? So you guys better smile, even the white people. And you know what that brings me to? My brother was that black, okay, that he would do that to me in pictures and not smile. It would get me so mad because he knows how hard it is. And I mean, he's not here anymore, but he would just do that all the time. He would just, on purpose, he had a carved mouth like this, and he had beautiful teeth. I'll tell you what I used to do to him as a kid. Whenever he yawned, I would put my finger in his mouth. I just touch his tongue, and he hated that. So as he got older, he wouldn't yawn in front of me. I didn't notice it. I didn't care. But why am I telling you this is that he got something in his eye. He goes, something's on my contact. And we're driving, and then he starts going like this. I go, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm trying to yawn. Something's in my eye. And I don't understand it because I never wear contacts. But if you have something in your eye, you should yawn. Right, that's what he said to me. And he's like, I'm not going to yawn while you're here. I was like, Jay, like, we're adults. I'm grown, and I'm driving a freaking car. Give me a break. And he yawned, and I fucking did it. That disgusting. All right, that's the way you start a show, tongue touching. That's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. My name is Sunta Kronquist. I'm your host, and this is a crazy, crazy place to be. And if you don't watch the news, it's not on me. Let me just say something. I just want to give a special shout out to Aaron McIntyre, who's here, who's also producing the show tonight, as well as doing acting classes. So when you guys are calling me for these monologues and cold reads, I don't have to make believe I know what I'm doing anymore. No, I have to make believe I care. I'm kidding. I so care. I love when you guys want to change the words of the writer. Don't you understand? The writer is also a comic, and he thinks his words are gold. Just go along with it. I did have that audition the other day, by the way. Oh, my God, are you ready for this? I had to be a native. I was an abuela. Now, I don't know how the abuelas dress, you know? And I was supposed to say, "¿Qué haría, J Balvin?" I don't know who the fuck J Balvin is, right? He's Colombian, and he's a star, I hear, right? Have you heard of this? I had no idea. Tell me next time. Give me a freaking note before I go to the audition, okay? Thanks, Anya, really.
I didn't know.
Oh, my God, I didn't know either. So the guy I'm with says, you know, I don't even speak Spanish. Everybody thinks I'm American. I'm Panamanian, but people think I'm listening. All of a sudden, when the audition starts, él habla con la Z. And I was like, oh, my God, he lied, mentiroso. But that's not the crazy part. I say to the girl at the desk, I don't think this is for me because this says native speaking Spanish. Y yo no soy hispana, yo no soy latina, yo soy americana, all that shit. My phone rings, and the lady that's going to help me with my birds in New York called, and I spoke Spanish like, I was like, mira, yo tengo los pájaros para usted, todo está bien, me voy a... I mean, it was crazy. So she said to me, well, you could speak Spanish when you need something. And I was like, she's right. And guess where she was? Dominican. She put me in my place. So let's start out with some really positive energy here, guys. I'm going to bring up a woman to the stage. This femme fatale is somebody to really pay attention to, and she has a mark on this business. Let's give it up for the comedy of the one and only Jessica Gutierrez.
I just came back from Mexico. Yeah, it was great. It was my first time there. Everybody told me to watch out for the water, right? But as somebody who suffers from chronic constipation, I just was living for that relief. Doesn't work though. Doesn't work. The water is fine. I suffer still today. Nobody told me that that's what happens. Like when you get like past 30, you either shit too much or never at all. Right. That is fucking. Nobody says that. Anyway. I know. What if American water is like the opposite of it? Like just makes everything hardened, you know? I don't know. That was not planned. Man, I have never been around so many people that were so disappointed to find out that I don't speak Spanish or I'm not fluent. Man, that is... Everybody online was like, oh, they just like it if you try. Just try. No, not if you're Latino, then you're fucked. I mean, there probably have been that many Latinos that have been disappointed. Anyway, let's see, what do I want to say? Okay, so, okay, I need to talk about some premises. Sorry. It's going to be a big stinker today. Okay, so, in my first apartment, I remember I heard some rustling in the middle of the night, right? And I was really scared, and I like froze, right? And I look out of my window, there was like some guy, right? Yeah, like I had a peeping Tom, and I was like, if you just want to watch me lay there, you could have sex with me, you know? Don't just stay out there. Come on. Yeah, so I couldn't sleep after that, so I got a therapist. And so I tell her about it, why I couldn't sleep, and she's like, oh, was your window open? And I was like, yeah, it was summer, I don't have AC, you know. And she goes, oh, you can't do that, you know. One time when I was in college, I was sleeping and I had the window open and a man came in and he had a knife and he slit my throat, and the last thing I remember was just screaming in my friend's car, you know. I just blacked out, and I was like, is this a competition? I'm like, what do you fucking... Maybe this is her way of, like, keeping me. She's like, I'm gonna keep this bitch fucked up. You are never getting better. Yeah, she was a mess. I think she was a drunk. She accidentally emailed me her notes about me once, where she called me moderately mentally ill. And I asked another therapist, and she was like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, she was just like, she had her computer just like typing up some bullshit. She wasn't even listening to me. Anyway, what else did I want to say? I need to come more prepared when I come here, because I'm never there, you know. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay, so, okay. My mom and I have a weird relationship. I never really felt like she had like a lot of interest in me. And it's not, she just felt always like kind of distant, you know? And she wasn't like on drugs or anything, but she just had like a lot of hobbies, you know? Like she was really into beekeeping. She had a few chickens. She got really into kombucha, you know? What the fuck? I don't want to hear my nasally ass voice. You ever hear yourself and you're like, that's awful. Why would you do that to me? Sorry. You should be. I'm just kidding. Oh, that's my water bottle. Okay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. So, I know. It's called a Contigo. It was not Conmigo. Yeah. So, okay. What was I saying? What the fuck was I saying? My mom. Your mom. Yeah, so she was into bees and like chickens and kombucha, and that she learned all that. She's a little old Mexican lady. She learned that all in LA. You know, it's crazy. I lost my mom to gentrification. You know. But anyway, that's where her priorities were. You know, it was just like 20,000 bees, a few chickens, some rotting fruit, and then me. You know, I guess that's actually maybe a little more sad than funny. We're gonna go back to the drawing board on that. But the bees are cooking. There's something with the bees. Oh my God! Every year they would swarm. They would swarm all the time, and every day I like begged her to get rid of the fucking bees. And every year she chose them. Every year. What a bitch. So, anyway, let's see. That's like a thing about like being Latino that I don't really identify with. I'm not particularly family oriented, you know, and I am crazy though. I don't like that stereotype. Are you crazy, Cinda? Yeah. Man, it sucks. Do they?
Yeah, until they have to live with it.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. There's a tipping point. Anyway, So my mom really likes this story. She really likes this story of my dad. He went outside to water the yard, and he came running back in because he said he saw the devil. Right? And she tells everyone this story. But what she doesn't add in is that he was also a crackhead. So there was some, I don't think, the only thing it was 11 p.m. when he was watering the yard, The only thing he was praying was his dealer must have been out. That's the only thing that must have happened. But she never tells people that part. She's like, this is what made him a believer. I was like, he saw the light. Yeah, and his fucking Bic lighter hitting that pookie. You know that. Yeah. What else about him?
You have to.
Yeah, what?
You have to do more about that.
About my dad?
Women are doing that.
About your crackheads? I feel like people have a lot of crackhead bits. Yeah, maybe not telling on my family. Yeah. The thing about it is that you never really know why they're so tired all the time. You'd think it'd be the opposite, but they're just gone in the morning. I guess there's something. I don't know. I think I want to approach sad things, but then I feel like you're already on an uphill battle, when it's sad. I don't like that. I know. That's hard. Okay, let me see if I can go more upbeat here. Let's see. I was at my desk, and this fucking kid came in, and I was listening to fucking Steely Dan at my desk, and he was like, that sucks, they don't let you play your own music here. He was just trying to relate to me. I was like, can a bitch like Steely Dan? God damn it. What is this world coming to? I was like, that's classic rock, right? And they were like, no, that's too far. That's you're fucking drunk all the time. You're fat and drunk, That's not the cool kind of dad rock, I guess. How much time do I have?
You got 3 minutes.
Oh my God. Let's see. I gotta really tighten a few of these up because I got a show next week. But I'm probably not going to go into this material. It's too new. It's 20 minutes. I have to do 20. That's too long. It's in West Hollywood. Yeah, it's called Fourscore. So it's just 4 comedians doing 20 minutes. Yeah, great.
Take that
10 p.m.
That chunk, right? Mm-hmm. Rip it around. You could do it.
God willing.
And stop for the laughs for a minute.
Allah willing. Yeah, I know.
Look on people when they laugh.
Yeah. Let's see.
Everything is great.
Great.
Passes what? Dora, something. Make something up about yourself.
I don't know.
Mexico like Dora saying, "Yo no hablo español mucho, pero yo quiero más agua."
Oh. Let's see. Okay, so I watched this documentary on Jonestown. Yeah, crazy, right? Wild. Yeah, but the thing that struck me about that was that there was this guy who said that he got kicked out by Jim Jones before they all killed themselves. It was 700 people, but I was like, how much you have to hate somebody to kick them out before you all kill yourselves? That is what did he do? I would never admit that out loud. He's more to be ashamed about than he thinks, I think. I wouldn't be the one to tell him, though. Let's see. I got made fun of by a bunch of kids in cargo pants. One of them looked at me and was like, wow, skinny jeans in 2024, slay, I guess. And they all start fucking laughing at each other. So then I was like, wow, all those pockets and no room for kindness, huh? So So I bought cargo pants after that. And I fucking hold them like I'm gonna show up at that kid's school, like with a cigarette prepared, just trying to look cool against the fence. I'm gonna do it. They'll rue the day. Let me tell you. Okay, thanks. Oh my God, you can find me on Instagram. I am DMT Daddy too. I gotta change it. I don't know what I'm gonna change it to. You can find me on Twitter, same handle. I'm on TikTok, same handle. Let's be friends. Bye.
Okay, yes. You ought to give him that information for Foursquare. Give it to everybody. We'll do something with them. Because we're doing something here, not right away, but we're doing something because people need to be able to show like 45 minutes. Yeah. So you get a half-hour special. I mean, it's true. You got to show what you have. Usually you have to show an hour. But we're doing something else that's totally has nothing to do with this next comedian who's coming up. And if I dare say comedian, he may slay me. Let's give it up for America's sweetheart, Mark Zaffron.
America's sweetheart.
Yes! Mark!
This is abusive.
It's abusive. Abusive is waiting for you to walk these 4 feet.
No, it's a little rough on the knees, you know.
So well, raise your standards.
That's right.
Raise your standards.
This is my firm's motto T-shirt. Raise your standards. Bukowski Brookman. You know, talking about bees, my wife would have me eaten by bees because all she cares about is honey. I go out with my daughters. We're over at the outdoor mall, also known as Century City. You went to the supermarket. Where's my honey? I've never seen anybody waste so much honey in my life. 3 teaspoons in a cup of tea. It all sits at the friggin' bottom anyhow. Honey is one of the more interesting things in the world, you know. It doesn't corrupt. So they used to use it on the mummies. You know, you go in and they smear the mummies with some sort of honey compound before they wrap them in that crazy, you know, strips that they have. For what reason? You know, why would you want to keep the body, you know, incorruptible like that? Your soul's gone, according to their religion. It's being weighed like a feather up in heaven. You know, it's crazy. The ancient Egyptians definitely were a very alternative people. You can believe the stories about them actually being founded by aliens. Well, you know, look at the pyramids, you know. Everybody says, oh, they did this, they did that. Shit, that's a lot of rock to move. You know, you don't have cranes, you're having a hard time. You go down the street, you watch somebody try to build a house, they're having trouble with a couple of bricks. These people are moving 3-ton blocks. It's amazing some of the stuff that ancient man did. It's fascinating. It does make you believe in the alien origin stories, you know. So I was having a talk with a buddy of mine down in Cincinnati. God knows how any human can live in Cincinnati. The last thing I remember about Cincinnati was WKRP and Howard Hessman. Lonnie Anderson's first role. Did the same thing she did in every other role. So anyhow... He, you know, we got into it about, you know, about depression and creativity and everything else. And you realize you're out in Los Angeles. This place takes your soul. It is like a succubus. You know, whoever it was that got on stage, I think it was Aaron that made the comment that if ISIS, or it was Patty, if ISIS was producing shows, people in Hollywood would be chasing them with their script. They don't care. They'll go to Gaza in the middle of a war. Oh, I hear you have a show. Well, was that comedians? I want my 5 minutes. Well, I don't have, you know, I thought about things to get up here to be America's sweetheart. There's not that much to be sweet about these days. I watched this crazy freaking election. It makes you terrified as to what's going to be happening next in this world. You are truly, it's like, okay, thank you for giving us no choice. Who thought I would agree with the Pope? I mean, I've never agreed with the Pope before. Why is it that I have to agree with the Pope now? And his attitude is, choose the lesser of two evils. But from his perspective, who's more evil than the other? Is it the abortion issue? Or is it the other issue? That's the same thing about this threat to democracy. We are not a democracy. This is something which has to be set forth once and for all in American education. But the problem is there's no such thing as American education. There was an article, well, I'll go back to the Republic. This is a confederation of different countries. When this started out, there were 13 colonies of Britain. Each one had their own culture, believe it or not, except Delaware. It was always a shithole. Anyhow, Rhode Island wasn't too far behind. Anyhow, 13 separate people get together to say, okay, we're going to get to, we just kicked out the king. Now what the hell are we going to do? They go to George Washington and they offer him a crown. He says, what are you, crazy? I don't want that. They start off and they put this thing together called the Articles of Confederation. Articles of Confederation had very, very strong state governments. Then they decided, well, that's not cool. So they came up with the balance system. We have the states, the federal government, and then we have the separation of powers in the federal government. So we have the president, who's the chief executive. His job is to enforce the law, not make it. We have the Congress. Their job is to pass the laws. And then we have the Supreme Court. Their job, after Marbury v. Madison, is to determine which laws are good and to be the final interpretive of any law, whether it comes from this, as long as it has something to do with the Constitution. Where did that become democracy? Greece had democracy. Athens got wiped out. Every city-state that ever had a direct democracy, gone. And these people knew these histories. Thomas Jefferson, all these guys, they're all classical scholars. They realized democracy doesn't work. Republicanism works, where you have democracy or democratic processes within the states, and then you have the federal government that's really supposed to do a couple of things. They're supposed to deliver the mail, worry about foreign affairs, and they're supposed to take care of the internal waterways. Anything past that, they fuck up. And then they take all of that and they build it into this huge bureaucracy in which we have people who sit there, never get elected, and get rich. So, wait. So Anthony Blinken, you read about all these guys. Anthony Blinken's father used to refer to River House, where he lived, where Henry Kissinger lived, by the way, not that any of you know. Bottom line is, he used to refer to River House as an oasis in New York where people who never have to face the vicissitudes live. So we have a Secretary of State who never had to worry about where his next meal was coming from. He understands nothing, and his best friend is an Iranian spy. Robert Maui. Explain this world to me. I'm up here ranting about it, but it comes down to this one fact. There's an article that one of the best jobs in America is a New York City school teacher. You make the most money, have the best benefits, and you get to pick the people who decide how much more money you're getting in your salary. It's the ultimate job. There's only one problem. They never do it. No kid comes out of the New York City school system anymore able to read, write, and do arithmetic. That's no different in L.A. Do you know what it costs me to put my kids through private school? What have we produced in this country? No knowledge about what we are, no knowledge about how things work. I mean, it is fascinating, and I'm just sitting here not being funny. I didn't feel funny today. I didn't feel as if anything was funny today at all, though I do get a kick out of the exploding beepers. You got to admit. So they finally leaked out how most people got hurt. Okay, so everybody was speculating about man wearing his beeper down here. You expected there'd be a lot of blown off, man parts. No, what was happening was that the beeper would go off and the guys were going like this. They all lost their eyes. No. Yes, it blew up in their faces. That's the crazy thing, because the doctors are claiming they've never had to do so many eye removals. They don't even know how to do them. They couldn't even treat half of these people. Like, you get into a car accident, your eye gets knocked out, they have to remove the eye. These emergency room doctors were sitting there with all these eyes. And I know my wife is getting sick right now, is very to vomit, because she's always had this thing with eyes ever since her father used to bring home pig's eyes and tell her to eat them. Or sheep's eyes, lamb eyes. Eat them. Anyhow, that's all the time I want to take up and annoy you with today. All right? I'm trying to be less confrontational because my friend Ray Bruni wants to start up the Zaffron Zone. I don't want to get canceled again.
Okay.
Anyhow.
How you can't get canceled?
Cancer
can't get canceled. You can find Mark Zaffron right here complaining about me.
Oh, yeah. It's the bees.
The bees. You started some shit here.
I know.
I will not kill them. You know the first time I got stung by a bee? I was walking, no, I was standing, and I felt something in my groin, and I was wearing a pantsuit. No. Listen to me, and I ran into the bathroom of a deli in New Jersey, in the bathroom. I was so ashamed. And I took off my clothes, so I thought somebody stabbed me, and there was nobody behind me. It was so painful in my groin. And the woman came in and pulled it out with her finger, and she put ammonia on it. And so I would tell you, but it's really close to my lady parts. Now that you're saying man parts, he's trying to take my world.
I didn't know what to say.
Because you don't want to get canceled saying, you know, and I hope they know what you're talking about with this beeper thing. And you have to tell people who Anthony Blinken is. They don't know.
If they don't know who the Secretary of State is.
Mark, some people don't know. People don't know, all right? People don't know. Blinken, I was thinking about that new movie coming out, Blink 2 or something like that. But listen, I want to give it up for this guy that's coming up right now because we're going to have the hottest acting class right here at the Film Actors Cafe. Let's give it up for the director, the one and only Aaron McIntyre. Let him hear you.
All right, calm down. Calm down.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Wasn't that fucking weird? You know, nice and silent, you know, group of people. Hi, Aaron McIntyre. Oh, God. Do I have to go through this? No, it's A-E-R-O-N. It's not A-A-Ron. Don't call me A-A-Ron. It's not A-A-Ron. It's not E-R-I-N, which is very, you know, it's a little different than me. Think of aeronautics. I am... bipolar, so I'm crazy. I'm really crazy. Certifiable, actually, and I went to analysis, actually, for 2 years. 2 years, 4 days a fucking week. And that's on top of the, at that point, 35 years of therapy that I'd been through before that. So you can get an idea of just how crazy I am. So bipolar, ADHD, yeah. I'm a pussy. And I also, sorry, that was it was Tourette's. I don't really have the Tourette's, but you know, the other day I was taking an Uber, and I get this guy, you know, and you get those guys who just. Usually when I get in, I'll usually like say, you know, when did you start working today? Or, you know, some like really easy thing. And if they go, oh yeah, I started at about 2 o'clock, then I know, okay, maybe we can have a conversation because I like talking to people. You know, I'm a nice guy. So I do that, and if they go 2, then I know, okay, this guy didn't want to talk. You know, maybe I'll ask a follow-up question to see if they answer, but they don't. But this one guy, man, I got in and I go, when'd you start working today? And he goes, oh, man, I fucking started at 4 o'clock, man. I fucking started at 4 o'clock. And as soon as I come out of the driveway, this guy come pulling it right in front of me, and I gotta honk my fucking horn. You know, these fucking people who are driving in this fucking city, they drive around, they pull you in front of you, they don't use their fucking blinkers, which I fucking hate as well. And they're going crazy and blah, blah, blah. And finally he stopped, and I was like, yeah, I know what you mean. We should kill them all. And he went, yeah, I get your point. The rest of the ride, he was just nice and cool. I got in one time with this woman who was deaf, and as soon as I got in, you know, she turns around and she hands me a card and she goes, I'm deaf. And I said, oh, great, because my brother-in-law lived with us for 5 years, so I know, you know, I can communicate. Using sign language, and I go, oh, that's really, how do I say that? That's really good, you know. I mean, I speak a little sign, and she goes, oh, and she starts going fucking nuts because she's never had anybody get in a car who can talk to her, right? So she's been driving around all day going, I'm deaf, and then nobody talks to her. So she goes crazy. She starts going, hold on. She's like driving like this, like doing sign language over the back of the thing, and I'm like, okay, she just look at the road. I almost died on that one, but okay. Everybody get ready to applaud. Okay? Just get ready. All right? I'm in recovery. Okay. Usually people clap for that. I don't know. You know. I mean, yeah, not here. It's like, yeah, who is it, motherfucker? Jesus Christ. Think that's a big fucking deal? Yeah, I haven't had a drink or any kind of drug for like 22 hours now. And I'm going to go right after this. I'm going to go down to the AA meetings right down the street, and I'm going to pick up my 24-hour chip. And I've got about 7,650 of them. As soon as I hit 10,000, I'm done. You know? It sounded better in my head. That's really weird.
Suppose I didn't know what a chip is.
Oh, a chip, ladies and gentlemen, is what you get after 24 hours, or 1 month, or 3 months, or 6 months. I think they give you a 6 month. And then a year. So they skip over the 9. You know, they just go, they're like, you know, if you made it 3 fucking times and got 3 chips, you know, you got a budget, you know, they don't take a lot of money. So it's, so that's what a chip is you get one when you're sober. So there's a lot of people who have a lot of 24-hour chips in AA, I got to tell you that. But I'm not going to tell you who, because it's supposed to be anonymous. So I'm not going to give that away. I could always talk about my mother. I could talk about my mother all fucking night. So my mother was a very interesting woman. About I'd say about a year, maybe year and a half, she'd go, "Nobody appreciates me!" Boom! And she'd walk out and she'd be gone like for a couple of days. And I was thinking, you know, no more mom. I ain't got a mom anymore. But then she'd always come back, except for one time right after my dad retired from the military. So he's been in the military for 32 fucking years. He was like he was a hero. He was shot down in World War II. He was taken prisoner of war, and then he flew for another 28 years and was a commander and all this shit. But he never raised a child. You know, he would come home every once in a while, and my mom ran the ship, you know, and it's like, he'd go, stop doing that. She'd go, "Oh, it's okay." And he'd go, "Okay, fine, sorry." You know, he would follow whatever she said. So anyway, she walks out one time, and she left for a year. So it's me, and I'm like 10 years old, and I'm a fucking pain in the ass because I had a lot of childhood trauma. It's not funny, so I'm not going to do any jokes about it. But I was kind of a pain in the ass. My mother put me in therapy when I was 8 for very many reasons. But since then, I've been in and out of therapy, so I should be fine. I don't think I'm dangerous. I don't think I'm going to hurt anybody. But you never know, you know. So anyway, my mom would do that, and then she'd come back, and she'd be like, "Well, I guess I'll come back, you know, I guess I'll do it." But it was clear she didn't know what the fuck she was doing out there, you know? I mean, she had a fucking steady paycheck. Dad was paying the bills all the time, and she went out but she did make it for a year. But she was not very affectionate. She did not give very much affection at all. It was mostly discipline. But one time I was jumping on the couch, and she told me not to do it, and she was back in the back, and she couldn't hear me, so I jumped over this couch, and my foot caught on it, and I went right on my head, and it knocked me out. So I'm laying on the floor, knocked out, and all of a sudden when I come to, I hear this, and I open my eyes, and my mother is standing over me, and she's vacuuming around my head, and she goes, "I told you not to jump on that couch." So that's the mother I had. So during COVID, I went out to take care of her, and I didn't do a very good job because she died. But it's okay. It's okay. She was fine with it. She was ready to go. She would lay around all day going, "Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye." And I think she was just trying to figure out the correct way to say goodbye so that the angels would come and take her away. Because she was 98. She'd go to the doctor, and the thing is this is a woman who's 98 years old. Okay, not one thing of medication. She took no medication, no high blood pressure, no cholesterol, none of that shit. She was in perfect health. And she'd go to the doctor, and the doctor would go, "Well, you know, I don't know, we can't find anything with you, you know, I mean, you could live to 105. And she'd go, "God, please don't tell me that." She was not happy. She used to come out in the morning and sit at her oatmeal with her toast with lots of butter. She'd always say, "Lots of butter." And she'd just sit there and she'd go, God, why didn't somebody just take me out in the back and shoot me? So that was my mother. She was a lovely woman. She was really special. But the lots of butter, she would always, while I was taking care of her, she'd go, well, you got me right where you want me, don't you? You got me right where you want me. The crazy old lady. And every time she'd say that, I'd always think, you really should put the emphasis on the crazy old lady. But she would never listen. She never listened. She tried to trip me a couple of times, which was really funny. She would also do this kind of passive-aggressive thing where we'd get into a fight, right? And, an argument. That's family. That's what everybody does in families. I hope. Because if you don't fight with your family, you're fucked, okay? Because one of them will come and kill you one day. Because you got to have that outlet, And you can't get it all out in the car when you're driving around and getting road rage. Just, that's dangerous. But so we'd get into a fight, and then she'd lay there. She had a little lounge chair, and she'd lay back in her lounge chair, and she'd go, oh, I'm awfully cold. I'm very cold. Oh, God, I wish there was someone around who could give me a blanket or something, cover me up. And I go over and I go, you want some? And she go, get away from me! So she loved doing that, but it was very passive-aggressive. She really didn't like dirty words either when we were growing up, We couldn't say fart. Can you imagine that? You can't say fart. You can't say any, you had to say pardon me every time, which I always hated that word. But anyway, you couldn't do that. But when she, in the last part of her life, she couldn't see. So I would buy these books on tape, like Audible tapes. And she always loved these mysteries. So one time I put on this Audible thing, and I'm like, oh, thank God, I got a break. She's going to be asleep she's going to be listening for a little while. And I came in about 10 minutes later, and I hear this voice going, and then he sloped his hand down the back of her thighs. He brought his hand up and put it between her cheeks and put his finger right inside. And I'm like, oh, boy, I am not touching that with a fucking 10-foot pole. I'm leaving. So I walk out of the room, and I'm just like, I'm just going to stay back here until the book's over. She listens to the whole fucking thing. And I come out, and I go, so how was the book? And she goes, it was interesting. So that was my mom. She was lots of sex. She liked it now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron McIntyre. You can find me at Aaron McIntyre, AARON. Have a good night.
Oh, my God. Listen, the mothership, you're going to call it. She ran it. The mothership. Isn't that great?
The mothership, I like it.
The mothership. And the other thing is we'd like to know her name. It's going to make it better.
Pat.
Pat? Another Pat?
Another Pat.
Well, then let's give it up for Patty, ladies and gentlemen. One Patty there, two Patties here, here a Patty, there a Patty, everywhere. Patty from the mix.
Hey,
come on.
We can't get Jessica Gutierrez excited over much. But I give it up for Jessica Gutierrez. Come on. We can be loud for her, even if she's not loud for Patty. There we go. Look what we got. Give her a round of applause for applauding, and you guys applaud some more. I'll take what I can fucking get, because the energy in this room is off the fucking charts. Let's just face it. I just have a mental picture of a young Jessica Gutierrez with her mother beekeeping in the yard and her father smoking crack in a closet somewhere, leafing through his classic album collection. This is traumatic. Because we get a lot of trauma. Clap if you got a little trauma from your parents, a little bit. I don't know what to say about your mom. I mean, come on.
A lot of crazy.
Come on. Beekeeping. God damn it. That's, I'm going to say something. This is happenstance. Also, Dora the Explorer. You could be like the porn Dora the Explorer, all grown up. Yeah, that would work. That would work. Oh my God. Well, we've got Aaron. He's actually a younger, hotter version of Captain Crunch. And they've got him in the cereal mascot section of Pornhub doing My Little Pony from behind. So get a mental fucking picture of that while you're there. I'm celebrating. Are you guys want to celebrate with Patty? Would you like to celebrate with Patty?
Yeah.
Would you? I'm celebrating. Last week I celebrated my 15th year of sobriety.
Wow.
I haven't had a drink in 15 years.
Wow.
So what I'm trying to tell you guys is I've been a habitual pot smoker now for 15 years because I need a little something. And here's the other thing. Yeah, people talk a lot of shit about crack, Mostly they've never done crack, but they talk shit about it all the time. You guys have fentanyl now. I'm nostalgic for crack because crack did a lot of things. Crack people don't know this, but I'm gonna sing the praises of crack for a little while here. A little bit, because it's easy to talk down. It's like crack is like Hitler, People talk a lot of shit about Hitler. Hitler's not here to defend himself. I'll admit he wasn't funny, but, he didn't have any Jewish writers. Also, he gets no credit for inventing half the high five, and he did kill Hitler. So think about that. Crack as a drug, first of all, fentanyl, I don't understand the fun. It just kills you. Right. Crack was fun. Crack was a ball. I smoked a lot of fucking crack. Yeah, about 75% of people that smoke crack never had a problem with it. The other 25% was fucked up. It was fucked up. But crack brought the races together. It brought us all together because contrary to the propaganda, white people loved crack too. Yes, it just wasn't like Church's chicken. It wasn't available in our neighborhoods. So we had to go and venture forth. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, when does bigotry go out the window? I'll tell you when you run out of crack. Because no matter your race, creed, or color, I will smoke that crack with you. I will smoke the crack. It goes out the window. It doesn't matter. And here's another thing I want to talk about. Like, we just want to look at each other and make assumptions. Like, I get a lot, I've got, that motherfucker probably is going to vote for Trump face or resting January 6th face. And here's I like when Trump calls it J6. It's like it's some fucking club of some sort, the Bool or something we don't know about. But here's the deal. I'm an immigrant. I came here from another country when I was a fat little boy. And here's the thing. I do have white immigrant privilege. And I'll give you an example. Part of my white immigrant privilege is I'm allowed to see that there are way more assholes than racists. Way more. There are racists. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of racists, but they're not giving us their best. Let me kind of point out something. My wife, who I'm of course an immigrant and a person of absolutely no color. Her parts came from the Philippines, but she was assembled here. And very early in our marriage, we drove across country. And we made our way through Texas, and we ate at a restaurant. And when we came out of the restaurant, someone had written race traitor with spray paint on our car, but they spelled traitor with a D. I'm trying to tell you. It's not, these are, they're not class valedictorians. Let me put it this way. People that are still clinging to racism. It's passe. And here's another thing. Like, are there assholes? There's lots of assholes that if I had a hard time with them and I could call them a racist, I would, because it sounds better. It gives me some conviction and justification. So like, I'll give you an example. My wife, who is a tiny brown woman, she and I adore her. We've been married many, many years. But many times, and it's usually an older white couple, will compliment her on her command of the English language. Oh, Bill! Come here. Where did you learn to speak English so well? Listen to her speak English. She speaks English so well. Where did you learn? It's like Rancho Cucamonga, bitch. Racist or asshole? I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. It's just the perception of that's what a person is. Because I'll give you the same example. People walk right up to my wife and start speaking Spanish to her. And she fucking hates it. Racist or asshole? I guess it depends on what fucking hat you're wearing. Like I have a certain, okay, I'll give you an example. This happened to me. My neighbor, Big D. Big D is an award-winning hairstylist. He has won Emmys for Blackish. And we're both married to Filipinas. So I'm just going to point something out to you. This is my white privilege, white immigrant privilege is part of it, but it comes from my whiteness, is I can quote Dr. Umar and maybe say he has a point, marry a Filipina, and still admit I would love to fuck Candace Owens.
What?
I would love to. She's hot. She's fucking hot. And here's my thing. I'm not any less white. I'm not any fucking less white. But my neighbor, Big D, who called me his N-word earlier today, I fucking love. He's a qualified user. He gets to, he's got all the qualifications. And I base that just solely on the color of his skin, so I'm not a racist. He is married to a Filipina, and his relatives still give him fucking shit about it. Black women give him shit about it all the time. Now, white women, the worst thing that they can be called is a racist, so I'm left alone. I'm free to enjoy my Filipina. So here's my point. Like, first of all, I'm not mad at black women. I'm not mad at them. I understand their point. Culturally, like the Kardashians have culturally appropriated black men. Just as a fucking ornament. And they're interchangeable to them. But nobody has a problem with it. You know what I mean? And let's face it, let's be honest. Collectively, the Kardashians have seen more black cock than the men's urinal at the Apollo Theater. I understand I might have that same problem. But like I get to go anywhere, because I got this going for me. And nobody thinks I'm from somewhere else. No, they immediately. I'm completely, like I was at, because I look like that. I was at Fuddruckers. Fuddruckers, fucking great hamburgers there. I was at the one. There's one in Rancho Cucamonga. I was there, and the guy's in front of me, looks like me, turns around. Fox is on the TV. He turns around and he goes, "I didn't come all the way to this great country to see it overrun by immigrants." I looked at him and I said, "Dad, Sean Hannity is lying to you. He is a liar." But my father has taken the Kool-Aid. He's an immigrant. He was an illegal immigrant in 2 different countries. In 2 fucking different countries. Yet his politics are somewhere to the right of Attila the Hun. Like, he calls Jesse Smollett a liar, but he votes for Trump. Just think about it. I made the mistake of telling him who I voted for once, and I've been Obama's girlfriend now for about 18 years. We Irish people like the negative parts of our own stereotype. We thrive in them, you ever see the Washington Redskins? Remember they changed the name. It's a racist name. It's a slur. But do you ever see the way that the Native American brave is depicted on the helmet? Dignified, distinguished, gazing into the distance. Have you seen the mascot for Notre Dame? It's a homicidal leprechaun in the fucking attack position. My father fucking loves that leprechaun. He loves that leprechaun. I grew up I know real oppression, okay? I was a Catholic boy. I grew up in a fucking civil war. You'll have yours soon. Don't worry. There's one coming. And there were 20 car bombs in a single day when I was 7 years old. 20 fucking car bombs in a day in Belfast. And my uncle was actually killed by an Irish car bomb, which was ironic because that was his favorite drink. Oh, that's funny, right? You guys order your fucking Irish car bombs here, and we don't fucking like that. Don't order an Irish car bomb at an Irish pub. We do shit to it because we don't think it's funny. Go to Glendale and order an Armenian genocide and juice. And see the glee that you are greeted with. Go to Little Tokyo, order a Hiroshima margarita. See how that works. All right, we've drawn to a standstill. That's where we've gone. I think I know what you're all thinking, and I'm just going to go out because with this, people are always thinking the same thing. How does he feel about Diddy? I think he did. He probably did something. OJ might have not did it, but Diddy did something. He did something. All that comes to mind is 784 dildos. 700, did you ever hear about this? There were 784 dildos confiscated. I want to be the Fed that's checking in all the dildos. Like how many dildos is enough? Like, fetch my seasonal pumpkin spice strap-on, Cassie. this is an addiction. People used to think Imelda Marcos was a freak because she had 1,000 pairs of shoes. 700. Oh, by the way, fun fact: Steely Dan was what dildos were called in the 1800s. Google that shit right now. It's fucking true. 100% true. And here's the deal. Men have been fucking everything and beating the shit out of stuff since the beginning of time. It's just a fact. And the rumor was that he gave Cassie $17 million just to say nothing. You know, I've gotten the shit beat out of me. You could fuck me a little bit for 17 million. I would be a terrible father if I didn't take that 17 million. Because that's generational wealth. You know what I mean? And also, like, the outrage. Mayor Adams of New York City. You're familiar with Mayor Adams? He's in other trouble now. But when this came out about Diddy, he asked for the key to the city back. He said, I want the key to the city back. I think it's made out of chocolate. It doesn't open anything. But Diddy gave it back to him. And immediately, the Lenape people, who are the native people of New York, called him an Indian giver and demanded the return of Manhattan. Because we're all fucking hypocrites. I don't have any time left, do I? All right, well, you guys have been adequate, and I want to thank you. I want to especially thank Jessica Gutierrez for being here and while we're here.
Google check.
Google check. Steely Dan. Am I right? That's 100%. It's a Steely Dan.
Dan is not an 18th century sex toy.
Wait a second. This isn't a documentary, and I'm not done yet.
It is a sex toy from William Burroughs' Naked Lunch.
Okay, well, that changes everything. That changes. So, well, this isn't a debate. This is where I do bits. But thank you. Thank you for that. I mean, I thank you for the political science lesson earlier. That was entertaining. But this is normally the part where I do bits and you shut the fuck up. But he said that. I'm going to leave on a vibrator note, may I? My mother was obsessed with Elvis Presley. And when she passed away, all women have a drawer. It's a drawer. It's near the bed. It's a drawer. And in this drawer, I found my mother's vibrator. It was an Elvis Presley vibrator. It had sideburns and 2 speeds. Love Me Tender and Jailhouse Rock. I've been Patty, P-A-D-D-Y-F-O-R-C-O-M-E-D-Y. Keep it going for we're going to bring up this young man. This young man, he's a favorite of mine. He's the hardest working man in show business. Just the hardest working man I think I fucking know. Keep it going for Kanye West.
Yes. Oh my God.
Who's still up here much faster than Mark, if I knew Park on.
I'm twice his age.
Oh, you're way more than twice.
Hey, don't do him like that. That's cool.
Fact check.
Nah, shout out to bros, man.
No.
Nah, I'm 26.
I'm more
Or 27 now. 27. I think. Yeah, I be forgetting my age. That's kind of sad because it's not that many years to be forgetting. All right, yeah, I'm on the same type of time. I got a show coming up. I have 2 on the 28th, so we're figuring out what we want to do with that. But I don't know, today is just the day of just like getting some new thoughts out. I don't know. I was thinking of getting more personal with my comedy. I know I always talk about like my own life anyway, but I feel like there's just there's humor in things that I just don't really talk about. So let's discuss it. I've often talked about like knowing early on that I wasn't going to be like out of me and my brother, like I wasn't the one that was going to take us like out the hood, like with sports, you feel me? Like my brother was always really good at sports. He was, 6 foot at like 13, you feel me? Like he had the height, then he got the weight because he played football and everything. But I never really talk on stage about the fact that, I don't know, having a gay brother is real interesting. It's people always like, they're like, oh, when did you know? Like, did you always know? And I won't say that I always knew, but there were definitely signs. You feel me? There was definitely signs. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's gay stereotypes that people just don't acknowledge because it's kind of like positive stereotypes. Like gay people are always at the forefront of like new fashion. Like anytime you see a gay person wearing some cool shit and then like 2 months, 3 months later you see everybody else wearing the shit, like they be ahead of, like he was wearing a cardigan before everybody, like before my mom even. Like I was like, why are you so nicely dressed? like at 12, he just knew what to put on. And then also, I don't know, my brother played football, and I'm gonna take this off because it's a bit warm, and I got a cool shirt under here. I ain't mad at it.
Nice, show us. Take it off.
Yeah, this is a custom little shirt. You feel me? Little 101 piece. You know, we rocking the logo and whatnot, but let me. It's just this is it. It's just this. This is just my logo that I put on everything. Definitely airs it out. It's nice up here. Cool. So my brother played football, and people always assume, like, they're like, oh, like, you know, you have a big buff brother playing football, like, you know, how does that relate to him being gay? But I don't know. I feel like he was just always good at getting his man. You feel me? At a very early age. At a very early age, bro. Like, he played defense, but he was always so good at getting his man. Like, it was just so easy for him to do so. Damn, it is very warm. I'm sorry. It's like end of the night. The lights are so warm. I'm trying to really see where I want to go with that because there's a lot to that, but. Yeah, no, that's definitely a cultural thing. Like dealing with being. Oof, yeah, that's some real stuff I'm gonna have to get into with that, because that's a lot of like family on top of like.
And making fun.
Yeah, I gotta really work on making that cute. Damn, yeah, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be fun though.
Come on, cute.
It's not really cake because it's like I want to present it correctly. You feel me? I don't want to just present it as like, you know, like just the idea. I just want to like actually make sure it's nicely done. Yeah, but I'm so sorry. Every time I'm really warm, I get sweaty and I get uncomfortable. And it's not uncomfortable on stage, it's uncomfortable being sweaty and I feel sweat dripping. So for that reason, I'm out.
Serious?
Yeah, I'm so serious.
You sweat.
I feel myself sweating and that makes me sweat more. So
Never seen you sweat.
no, I don't like it.
What are you gonna do on stage?
I don't like that.
What are you gonna do on stage then?
I don't sweat usually, but
I
it's
know.
hot. Like
I think
it's
'cause you're big.
palpably hot.
I
Like
gotta fix that
You better
camera.
check it, you know, you better
Okay, here's what's going
you
on.
better check his blood pressure.
I know.
I just don't like being warm.
But listen-
My brother used to sweat like
I know.
that.
Stop it. I was
don't
thinking
like
that. Stop it.
It's actually
Stop
really
it.
warm.
But listen, that
I'm
does not. Where can they? Okay.
Because I really don't have much anyway, so I'm not pressed to just sit on.
He didn't mean this. If you guys are watching, he didn't. He's got a lot.
You know me.
Of course you've got a lot.
You know me. I'm not finna just be sweaty. Like, ugh. It just makes me feel gross.
It's like Zach Galifianakis.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do though when you're on stage when it
Be
happens?
sweaty on stage.
You don't know. You don't know how it is. You have no idea.
Oh, it's cooler.
No, we're talking about on television.
It'd be cooler there. No, it's not. Every time I've been on TV, it's been cold.
Yeah, lucky you. Sometimes they don't want to sound. That's why.
I'm just like, every time
No, I'm just saying.
it's cold. Like,
Let me just say this. This is why he has the air conditioning off, so that the tapes are smooth. Or not the tapes, but the footage.
the audio, I get it.
Because it's going like this, but I've never seen you sweat.
I still turn on the air conditioner.
Yeah.
You can't. It goes like this.
Getting sweaty.
Not that anybody cares that's watching, because of course when you're here it goes like this. All right.
It's only that camera. We'll fix that.
That's right. We're going to fix that camera, Anya, because I want to hear the rest of that. We got to finesse that.
Which camera is it?
So much.
So we need a filter, that's all.
A filter. We need a fitna, and I'm fitna to go out. Listen, guys, if you want to support LeBron James this week, they're doing an art auction. They're doing a red carpet. I'm going to have the information, but I think it's at the Hilton. I thought the Hilton was closed.
It is.
It is the Hilton, isn't it? Okay, so I made a mistake. The Hilton's open. And the LeBron James Foundation, that's what this is for. Okay, someone's calling me from New Jersey right now, telling me to wrap this shit up, okay? So I'm going to say goodnight, everybody, and thank you, Ian, and thank you, Patty, and Miss Gutierrez, and America's sweetheart, Mark Zaffer, and good night, everybody. I'm Sunda Kroonquist. See you at the Comedy Store.
I'm going to be an alarmist.
Alarm.
No, I feel